I'm Jahyem Jombo boy, but I prefer signing Jahyem Jombo on my work. I'm from Delta State, but I grew up in the South region here, Benin City. I stayed here for a while before I went over to Lagos to school. Stayed briefly in Lagos, and I'm back here practicing as an artist. My medium as an artist could be anything. Okay, my medium could be paints, could be paint on walls. It could be through music. But right now, I engage more in graffiti and painting on canvas. Most times, I use acrylic paint or oil paint. When I first saw these images on the projector, at first I felt like these were people that were taken advantage of, and people that were doing things against their will, because their faces, their eyes were conveying a lot of messages. And I just felt that we were called upon to just praise some old anthropologists who came here and took advantage of us. That was what I thought. After the seminar, we had to go deep into the archive, research. So everybody's minds were open, and I learned about Thomas, and I saw that he wasn't really accepted by the people that actually sent him. The people of that region, Benin City, were just defeated from a war 12 years or so prior to when Thomas came. And that was why I realized that was why they had that look on their faces. They were still people who were brooding, who were mourning and defenseless. And you could tell that from the way they look and the way they were. So I didn't blame all of that on Thomas. My perspective was adjusted a little bit. The idea came in the expressions on the faces of these people. Regardless, let's assume, I'm not saying Thomas was a bad man, which I know he wasn't, and he took advantage of these people. Still, he was able to capture their emotions. The emotions of these people were captured. It wasn't just a photograph. He told their stories through photography, and in their eyes, it was like, tell my story, It's like the story the event that happened before he came was told on the faces of these people. And like the title of the project goes, Against the Odds. So regardless of all the things these people went through, Thomas's work happened. Whether the British people at the time, the government felt it wasn't successful, but it happened against the odds. These people played their role, and Thomas delivered. My story actually starts from the sky. The sky actually is dramatic here. The sky is the only witness to these things. Myth or legend, whether it's true or not, the life these people actually lived before now, the sky is the only witness to what has happened over the years. The background shows the life, a scene of the palace, and these turrets in the background, starting to the point where this is the truth that we don't know that the sky is only aware of. And we go down to the part where we had chiefs like Chief Ero, a senior chief. He was all seated down, down to the activities that took place within the town. So we already had it going for us. But as time progressed, I feel we suffered a lot of setback, and we still thrive. That's why the title is Against the Odds. We still thrive. And even if at current moment, in this time, you don't have turrets, you don't have, this place is blank and plain, you don't have anything going on like that. I personally feel in today's world, we live in like, we don't really have much compared to how it was then. And people like Thomas will help us document that idea. And going down to the other pictures, you will see that, for example, now this dude over here, when I saw his picture as well, he was like, I remember when we talked about his picture, he was like a black prisoner. He was like a prisoner, and I asked you, it looked like a mugshot to me. And I felt that was what prompted or led to mugshots being taken. But during my research and studies, I discovered that it's not only a white on black thingy. That it's that's why you have black on black incarceration, white on white. You have black people, because there are people in the prison. There are people. There are people in the prison today, because I visited the prison just for this project too as well. There are people in prison that are there for doing nothing, and they're black people, and they're the same tribe. They put us there, and that's why you also have SARS, and I stroke it. SARS is a body set, is a security body set for criminals. to hold down criminals and all. But you see today they raid young boys who are living their life cool, who are living okay, who are not looking scruffy. They expect every young person to be scruffy and look haggard. But so any young man who's on glasses, who's looking cool, who's having this rough hair like the model here, you know, who's looking stylish, they tend to want to imprison that person or find that person or manhandle that person without a warrant or nothing. So based on the painting and the archive, this is also something that is social, that's of a social, more current concern for what's going on with the youth in my generation now. And a picture taken 100 years ago would help me explain that so well. So it's what has been for us to how we're even becoming. So it's a whole lot of story. So the mugshot thing is not just white people come colonize you and they turn you into a slave. It's about also what we do to ourselves. It could also be white. Forget the color of the skin now. My art, I feel personally, has to talk on something that has to do with my time now as an individual, which is the issue of the SARS, the anti-crime squad, how they behave to young people who are hardworking and trying to feel good. And Paul's image of this particular person that made me had almost the wrong notion initially would support that claim. And moving over to this young man, I see that we don't know what to believe. We don't know what we are told. We don't know what we should actually believe. Like I said initially, the sky is actually the only witness to everything that has happened. So even if you're holding a book, your Western culture, or the uniforms symbolize Western culture, traditions that you never knew about. Even if you've had those things, and like the book symbolize also what you've been fed, even if you've been given those things, you're not the sky. Like I said, it's not easy being a human being. First of all, not to talk of being a man, or a great man, and now a king. Like I said, every black man is king. Every man is king. A king to your own personal world. But to get that real king in you, to restore all the activities, to restore the life, to restore all that were initially compared to the background, to this empty background, to restore all that, you have to rip yourself all that of everything you've been fed. You have to take that uniform off, that cliche. You need to take that uniform off, you need to drop that book. Then you have to look within your core to find out the man you are. And that's why you have the Idi mask inside on the chest of the boy. The Idi mask isn't part of the archive. But why I place that there is that because it has become, it's become one of the most monumental or the most prized or the most talked about artifact in Africa. It was taken away from the Oba before Thomas came. I think 12 years before or so. It was seized from the Oba. They saw it in the basket. It's actually a pen out on the neck, but it's longer than the way I wear it. I'm wearing mine like a choker though, but it was bronze. It was kept in the corner, and from a research I made on a book written by somebody from the British Museum, they dated it old as more than 400 years ago or so. So they took that from him when they took him in captive and they moved him to Calabar. That I used to represent who you truly are. You need to search for that within your core. Be it a black child, or Mexican, a Caucasian, a child from New York, a child from anywhere, from Jamaica, anywhere, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, UK, Ireland, anywhere. The Benin child, the Edo child, the child from Delta State, Osuka, anywhere. You need to find out who you truly are. Then drop all that you've been told. That's why you see this kid is trying to take off his uniform. And when he now embraced that thing within him, then he's king. Then he can restore everything. And I feel the only way to break that barrier is if SARS leaves us alone, the young folks, and if by them leaving us alone, giving the female a voice, giving them a chance as well, not taking them for granted, not exploiting ourselves, and trading ourselves, our lives, our private life for photography and what we can make of it. if they can leave us alone. I'm particular about SARS. If they can leave us alone, it might not be SARS. In the UK, I don't know what the anti-crime squad is, but I'm sure not all of them really. Most of them are they practice injustice. This is a sinful world. They actually do wrong to people who are just trying to be great and be good, like they did to Tupac and a lot of other people, Fela Kuti and everybody. In the UK they have theirs, other countries they have theirs, in New York they have theirs, but I feel I'm concerned with my country, with my state, and if they could leave the boys alone, then we can have the chance to actually concentrate and become king. Only then can we actually now achieve what was before Thomas came. It's very important, it helps people trace where they're coming from. You can't head anywhere. What happens in the past echoes in the future. You can't head anywhere if you don't know what happened in the past. Not that we should soak ourselves in it and not move forward, but you have to know. You have to be aware, and I think Thomas's works shows a whole lot for us today. It shows a whole lot. First of all, I'll talk about the society before I talk about me personally as an artist or generally as artist. It helps them know how it was for them, that we're not quite different from our predecessors. Like I showed you a model who looks so much like this lady, and I have a friend who looks so much like this dude. It helps us realize that, okay, this is how we are, this is who we are, and these are informations about us. The way they look, their emotions will make us want to question why they look like this, and make us want to research and see that, oh, they were invaded, oh, something happened before Thomas came, oh, what went lost, oh, what can we retrieve, how can we build on what we've lost, oh, Thomas did this, Thomas did that. And for artists today, I feel we can draw a lot of reference from the archive to make great pieces. It's like an unlimited wealth of information for historians, for creative individuals, and even filmmakers. It has a lot of message packed in one. So I think it's really important that people look back at this archive so that they have a better view, and they do things they do more properly with more value. I think when you work with the archive, your story or your art or your output or whatever you're doing, we have more value. It's going to give your work more value. If you're writing, you go through the archive, it gives more value. If you're an artist, it gives your work more value. For people in society today who are regular businessmen and women, it will give them that sense of, oh, I'm coming from somewhere. Because there are a lot of people in this town who can't even speak their local dialect, who don't even know anything about where they're coming from. So I think looking back at this picture, we know that even if they don't see their ancestors in this picture, but like I know personally, a lot of people have seen their ancestors in these pictures, but even if they haven't seen their ancestors, they still know that, oh, I'm coming from somewhere. I'm actually coming from somewhere, and give them that sense of confidence. It's not about one man. One ancient picture is everybody's father, is everybody's mother, and I think it's a great thing.